I would also like to say what I was saying before, that telecare also has to improve when supporting people that have found it more difficult to make the most out of these services, such as for instance the deaf. And here I should mention the TELPES project that many of you may know, which is also an attempt to make sure that deaf people can use this telecare. And finally, the PASOS project, which is the one that we've come to present. Given that the PASOS project was presented very well by Julian as well as by the other speakers, they've asked me to talk about the PASOS project from the point of view of the administration of the authorities. And this interesting PASOS project, what advantages does it have for the authorities? Well, the advantages that it has is that we are starting it all started from a technical cooperation agreement. That is, the public authorities were lucky enough to participate through SEAPAT and other bodies to participate in this agreement in order to improve the situation. Also, the authorities benefit, as the other speakers have said, from the fact that this protocol is open and free, and so it's free for the authorities. It's great. It's a project that was developed because the need was identified and is given freely to the authorities. Also, it fosters the universalization of the services. This has been mentioned, and much would have to be said about this, but I'm going to talk about a personal topic. As time goes by, and Carlos Capatado was mentioning this, we start to have the feeling that we do not want to be at home on our own if we are not very well cared. And as I grow older myself, I like to spend some time of my life in one place and some of the time of my life in another place. If I want this telecare service, I want to be able to enjoy this service in Madrid, but also in Malaga. And that also means to make things universal. When we talk about making things universal, we always think about the technical aspects, but I want for this universalization of these services, because right now, and the people here with me on the table know about this, maybe I've been awarded a telecare service in Madrid, but if I want to go and spend some time in a second home that I have in Cuenca, Malaga, or whatever it is, it will not work there because there is another type of management, there is another regional government or city council or town council, and so this service is not very well universalized. And what does this protocol do? It makes that easier. Also, it makes it possible to change providers, so that it doesn't matter that whether in Madrid you use one specific supplier and you're going to use a different supplier in another place. And in the end, it does something that is very important, and is that gives sustainability to the whole progress, to the whole process. And this is very much needed, and at times of economic crisis, this is very important. We cannot waste the funds. We have to have a concept of sustainability which is embedded in all of this. And what are the challenges for all of this? Because we've seen that the public authorities benefit from all of this, but the public authorities will also have to do something. And in my opinion, and I say this as a person that is immersed in the project, that I like it, and I think this should all be included in certain specifications. If this is not included in a specifications document, then very good, there is an open and free protocol, but it will not be demanded. And so we have to demand that it is in the specifications. Also, even though there are many other public tenders, I have to say that the Inserso public tenders are taken as the benchmark, as the reference. And if that is the case, then we have to do things well. It's not very good to be the reference if we're not doing things that are very well done. And so if we want for the Inserso tenders to be considered the point of reference for the industry, we need to make sure that this is very important to include this. Another idea, another possibility is that thanks to Texas, this becomes a technical standard. a standard approved by INOR, by the agency. So it's as if we have done all the legislation and now we're willing to do a specific standard. I don't know if you know that there is a technical standard about how the telecare service should be, but not about how the technological part of it should be, and this could also be a challenge. We should also have a follow-up group. I've always have the feeling that sometimes there are very good ideas, but these good ideas are not followed up and they get lost. We don't know why, because there's a change in the government, or because the ministry starts to be under another ministry or something else, and a very good idea may not be known by people that come in, etc., and it's a pity that something such good as this could be lost. We also have to continue the research in order to do more innovation.
Pues porque no lo tenemos.
And why? Because we don't have it all. The technologies are dynamic, ever-changing, and teleassistants cannot become obsolete. It needs to incorporate all these emerging technologies and do it also because of social responsibility. And something which I've always found interesting, I remember that we had just opened a center in Argentina, and one of the things I saw is that one of the companies that was well established was offering teleassistance services in Latin America. This is something where there's a great interest in Latin America, and I think we can help them so that they don't have to start from scratch and reinvent the wheel, which is what often happens, so that they can have teleassistance, an optimum teleassistance system. Now to finish, CITs will help us create a better world if they are designed and managed in such way that they are committed with the people. And commitment with the people is something that we have clearly had in the PASOS project. It's a technological project, but we have also borne in mind the people who will eventually use the service. We've always borne in mind the person who will manage the system, and also the person who will have to take decisions that are sometimes difficult. So I wish you lots of success in this project, and thank you very much.